I know you feed your kids really well. You give them lots of fruit, lots of fresh vegetables, but what do you do with all the leftover kitchen scraps? Are you tossing it in the landfill, or are you gonna compost? We're gonna break it down for you today. We're gonna show you just how easy it is to turn that kitchen waste into garden gold. Today, on composting on Mom Ed, Green Living. Hi, I'm Kristen and welcome to Mom Ed Green Living. Today we're joined by Cheryl Grant, and you've written extensively about green topics. And what would you say compost actually is?
It's a big topic and big to think about, but it's very simple, really. Just think of Earth as this living thing that needs to be constantly replenished. So what you're doing is you're taking what you've taken from the Earth, and basically putting it back into the Earth.
That's actually, I think, a really nice way to think about it. You're having what you've consumed, what has grown, using microbes in the earth, basically.
Exactly.
There's bits left over. You put that into this like scientific chemical process. It's like a home science experiment. Kids love this. And it breaks it down and it comes out as dirt. I mean, this is what you plant in. Dirt is not a dead inert object. Dirt's actually vital and alive. And the more vital and alive the dirt is, the more vital and alive the plants are, which of course you're gonna eat the plants and
the more vital and alive you'll be.
33 million tons of food waste is thrown into the landfill every single year. That's actually, I think, a little egregious when we have so many other ways of breaking it down and putting it back to it. And I know people think like, well, it's in the landfill, it's already gonna break down. It's not true because you have a big plastic bag around it. We know plastic takes
forever to
basically a millennium to disintegrate. So unless you have it in a biodegradable bag, but even then the landfills are anaerobic. There's no oxygen in the landfills. So it doesn't break down in there. It stays like in a hermetically sealed box. Nothing leaches out into the water system. Obviously you don't want that, but it's not going to break down and it's not going to go back to the earth. So imagine those 33 million tons of food waste becoming 30 million tons of biodegradable, lovely compost. I love that this is what we start off with, the kitchen scraps, and this is what it ends up with as vital earth. Where are we gonna put the composter so that it makes the most sense for, all over the country?
Well, you can start off in your backyard, which is simple. You've got wet leaves back there, so, you're probably already composting and you don't even realizing it. Instead of raking it away, you can just, store it there. I would also say, for you, if you have, say, for instance, a smaller space, or you don't have a lot of yard space, you can also get any kind of, even use a garbage pail to just stack things and save it in there as well.
I also love what you did with this big bin. This would be something that could just easily go in the garage, right?
In the garage, in the kitchen. I mean, if it's covered, you don't have to worry about it. You're not gonna say, oh my God, I'm gonna have that gross smell hanging around. You really and truly won't if it's covered, even with the punched holes.
Awesome, so we have our plastic bin here.
You can start out with something simple as a storage bin with your drilled holes, nice and easy. Now you want to take it, and I would say you start off with obviously your browns here. So you're going to put in your leaves, your old newspaper, make sure it's non-colored ink, of course, and you get that going. And then what you're going to start to do is you layer it. So you're going to have the brown, and then you're going to go with the green. Green is obviously anything that you can think of, any food product of sort, except for meats. You don't want to have that going in. So you're going to first take your brown products and have that first, and then you're going to go with your green, which would be anything like this, nice and simple.
Lovely. So we got our leaves and our paper. So I would think of brown as being dry, green as being like moist and soft.
Yeah, exactly.
There we go.
Exactly.
Okay.
And as also you want to mention, no oily products either. You don't want to put any oils in.
Right. No oil, no fat, no meat, no bones, nothing like that. That would also attract bugs.
Yes.
And this doesn't really attract that many bugs, believe it or not.
No, yeah, as long as you're keeping it covered too, you should be perfectly fine.
Wonderful. And we put a little bit more brown on top of that. And then cover it up. And then every now and again, give it a good shake, right?
I'd say once a week, just shake it around so you get the oxygen moving, the microbes moving. But it could take up to a year to break down into this loveliness. So you can also speed up the process by adding worms.
I love the worms. The worms make it quick. The worms take 2 weeks.
At least, yeah.
I have mine in a container like this on my kitchen counter, except mine, you can't see through that. But I did sit down with Sophie Uliano from gorgeouslygreen.com to actually talk about what to do with the little kitchen compost crock, and she had a great idea. It's time for Gorgeous. Sophie, make composting gorgeous.
Okay, this is so easy. Get an old milk container carton, saw off the top, get a bio bag, compostable bio bag, put it in, fill it with your kitchen scraps every single day. If you're not going to compost it right away, put it in the freezer. When you're ready to compost it, simply take out the bio bag and drop it in your compost.
Clean, easy, even the worms will eat it. So landfill's bad, compost awesome.
And
right?
it's just one small thing that each of us can do to make such a huge difference, not rely on someone else to do it for us. I'm always interested in trying to figure out what are ways that I can give back that's inexpensive, that's easy, that's simple to do. And this, I think, is a great way to do it.
Well, that's absolutely right. Everybody makes a difference, and everyone's part of the same cycle. We buy the food, we consume the food, we turn it into compost, it turns back into building blocks for nutrients, for more food to grow, and it's an ever consistent loop. I love that. Your kids are becoming part of that system, and you're the one who's teaching them that. That's how you're going to change the world, one mom at a time. Thank you so much for watching. Cheryl Grant, thank you so much for joining us here today. I always love your company. Making compost, it's not that hard, but I want to hear from you. Tell us your tips, your stories, your comments, your ideas, and make sure you subscribe to CafeMom Studios on YouTube. I'm Kristen Eichel, and I look forward to seeing you here next time on Mom Ed Green Living. Next time on Mom Ed Green Living, what is it that you love about plants?
They're always changing. You'll notice something new every day when you start to pay attention, and they make you pay attention to the world around you.